Sooner Nation, what's going on? This is the Softball Bros here for a little tribute video for Grace Lyons. Before we get started on that, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. We really appreciate all those that have been subscribing and liking and commenting. And let's keep that up. Make sure you subscribe to the Sooner Surge so you can stay up to date with all the latest OU information. We're here tonight to talk about Grace Lyons, as she is here pretty soon, going to be marrying the love of her life that she met at OU, Michael Turk. She's talked a lot about what OU has meant to her, but we are here tonight to talk about really what she has meant to the University of Oklahoma, guys. And we'll just start with Jade. Let's just talk about Grace Lyons, what she's meant for this university, and so much more than on the field.
Yeah, I mean, just a leader for sure of the team. I mean, and I don't know. I'd have to look, but I don't know how many Defensive Player of the Year awards she got. I mean, she just recently got the National Defensive Player of the Year. Congrats on that. But just in the dugout, she's a leader. On the field, she's a leader. I mean, you think of somebody that's been around. I think she obviously had the COVID year, so 5 years. She was a super senior, I believe. I mean, it just doesn't get much better than Grace Lyons. And I mean, guys, they only had four seniors this year, and two of those were, one Haley Lee and Alex Tarako, who were there 1 year. So really, you had Grace Green, but she didn't play a lot. So really, Grace Lyons was she was the formidable leader of this team, I think, on and off the field.
Yeah, and anytime you hear Gasso speak about Grace Lyons this year, she talked about how much, I guess you could say, authority, how much coaching, how much she relied on Grace Lyons. Even read, the article in the OU Daily about Haley Lee coming to Norman and how it was Grace Lyons and Patty Gasso were the two that were there for the recruitment. Patty Gasso trusts Grace Lyons as far as judging people's character, as far as really just being the coach on the field for her. And, time and time again, Grace Lyons has done that. She went through a little bit of a slump this year. And, guys, I don't know if you know all of Grace Lyons' story, but she's battled health issues, complications for a whole lot of her life and has persevered. And every time she talks about that, the first thing she brings up is her faith. But you're spot on. Before we get to that side of it, Braden, what do you want to say about Grace Lyons?
Oh man, she was huge for us. She always made so good defensive plays on the field, and off the field, she was talking about her faith. I mean,
Jackson, the other part of the softball bros who's not on here tonight, big fan of Grace Lyons. You ask Jackson about Grace Lyons, he would kind of echo what we're saying. But guys, her stats in 5 years, her freshman year she batted like 263, but from then on, next year it was 370, guys, and then 389, 399, and then this past year, like you said, Jeremy, she had a little bit of slump. She still batted 331. Guys, that's just probably you're looking at for a career probably in the 350s. That's great.
hey, Jerem. Hey, Jerem.
And her defense, yeah.
What I was going to say is when she didn't hit the ball very well and she went to the dugout, she was always, firing the dugout out. She was getting them fired up.
Oh, yeah. She's a coach. And I know anyone that follows her saw that she's going to be working with FCA, which is right up her alley as a Fellowship of Christian Athlete. That's going to be just a great fit for her, and she's going to continue to impact people like she has when she played there. If you asked her, I'm sure she would say the biggest thing for her is being able to share the gospel. Okay, I know we're all believers here, and that's really what we love about this team. We love about what Grace Lyons unashamedly, unapologetically has Patty Gasso would say with their celebrations, is sharing the gospel and the faith. And she's going to continue to do that. And like you said, even when she struggled, you couldn't tell that it was getting to her because one, her defense, she never struggled with. She always, made defensive plays, whether or not she was hitting or not. Anything you could get from her on the bat was just kind of sugar on top with her. And she's going to be very hard to replace. And guys, more so off the field than on the field.
Yeah, and I mean, you can also look at her games played, and she didn't miss many games. I mean, throughout her career, her second year, sophomore year, she did only play, I believe, like 24 games. But like other than that, she almost played, I mean, most of the games. And so, she might have had a nagging injury here or there, fought through it, didn't take a whole lot of time off, just an all around. And shortstop guys, I mean, I'm not going to, I mean, I played shortstop in baseball. It's a little different in softball, but shortstop is a very tough position. And to win defensive player of the year at that position multiple times, it's very hard to do because I mean, that just proves how good she is because, especially in softball, the bases are so close together. You don't have any really time for bobbling the ball or anything. You get the ball, it's got to be headed over to first like that. And she's just, I mean, all around defensively, offensively. And guys, the big hits throughout her career, she had major, just clutch performances.
And the way she ended it this year, guys,
Oh,
storybook.
storybook.
Storybook ending.
Yep, storybook
Well, and
ending.
storybook ending, and when she gets married here soon, because that couple right there between her and Michael Turk, I mean, you talk about two people that great athletes, great players for OU. That's what's crazy. They're both really good players at OU, but I mean, they'll be remembered for that, but how many lives have they changed? I mean, with Michael Turk's videos on Hang Time, with Grace Lyons, what she says all the time, guys, that's life changing to people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, people look up that people idolize college athletes. I mean, I know my kids do that. And those are two perfect examples of people to look up to and pattern yourself after.
And it's genuine, it's authentic, it's not uh, something that they're just making up. You can tell they live it out. They live it out each day, every day, despite whatever the circumstances are. And again, just so much gratitude and thankfulness for what Grace Lyons has done for the University of Oklahoma softball program and just university as a whole. Braden, were you getting ready to say something else?
No.
Okay. Yeah. So I just think that as she's getting ready to have her special day, we just wanted to really uh, dedicate this video to Grace Lyons. You heard
Hey,
her dear softball. Yeah,
hey,
go ahead.
I was gonna say, before we get off here, maybe you could say your favorite memory, either a play or something from Grace Lyons, and then our listeners in the comments would love to see maybe what your favorite Grace Lyons memory is at OU.
Go ahead, Jeremy.
I'll have Jay start it.
Okay.
I Man, this is tough, but I just think the way that this last year in the World Series, that last game, I mean, that was just, she had, like you said, she wasn't hitting the best in the World Series, but just to come up with that performance and end it that way, I think was, I mean, that's kind of how I'm going to remember her, you know, especially in the back-to-back home runs with Sidney Sanders. She hit when they went back-to-back after trailing that game, and it's just like, man, you can't write it any better than that. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of defensive plays I would remember too, and some clutch hits as well. But I think that just it's so new to me right now. That's what I would go with.
Braden?
And then mine is the home run she hit right after Sidney Sanders. And then last year against Texas, the double play to Jennings to Snow.
Yeah, I was
that's
going to go with
yeah.
I was going to go with defensive plays, and honestly, though, there's so many defensive plays I can't choose one. But guys, I think what I'm going to remember about Grace Lyons is really what Patty Gasso said. Just her name is the epitome of who she is. Her rounding third with the arms and the smile on her face, because that's what she always had, guys. She
Hey,
had a smile on her face every time.
yeah, and you know, off the field, the ESPN interview will stick with me for a long time. I mean, to answer
Oh
that
yeah.
question that was
Oh
asked,
yeah.
to answer that question the way she answered it, probably not what ESPN expected, but she gave the honest answer, and I think that sticks with a lot of people, and people will remember that. So I know, I'm sorry I threw that on you there about the memories, because we haven't really talked about and looked them up over her 5 6 year career. But listeners, please give us some good memories, some good of Grace Lyons' career.
Yeah. So, guys, Grace Lyons, thank you for
Thank you.
living out your faith here at the
Hey,
University of
Jaron,
Oklahoma. Yeah.
were you gonna read the Bible verse?
I got a verse right here. I'm going with Romans 1:16. Romans 1:16, if you don't know it, look it up, but it's for I am not ashamed of the gospel of Jesus Christ. And that's what Grace Lyons lives by every single day. And prayers for her and Michael Turk as they embark on a marriage that we know will be devoted to the Lord. And we are thankful to have role models. I'm thankful to have two Sooner role models for my three sons that they can look up to and follow, and know that if they're following them, they're in great hands, because they're pointing them to Jesus Christ. So thanks again, Grace Lyons. Best of luck, and Boomer, guys.
Boomer.
Boomer.